What is up guys, Wraec is here with a new video, and today we're going to summon for Solise, and also of course I'm going to tell you whether or not I think she's worth summoning in the form that she's on global. We already tested her on the Pioneer server, you can check out my other video on it, we'll have a little bit more gameplay, but since then she got nerfed. Multiple of her buffs got nerfed. We had already in the last video I described it, there is an increase to her initial energy, which usually should lead to a faster ult, actually because of a bug that was fixed alongside, I think it was a bug, leads to slower ult, which is, well, in that case, a nerf. I mean, it's mostly compensating a bit for a bug that was fixed, so she's a little bit weaker in that sense now. But still, very insane. Why do I say that? Oh, we don't really want skip animation. Don't know why, but it keeps it activated now. I just selected it one single time, it's now active for multiple days. I think that's a bug too, but you can activate the recruit animations again here in the settings. So just one pointer there. Just kind of like my little golden columns coming down, want to see whether or not I get the double. I don't know, it's just a part of the something that is important to me. However, Solise has been still used quite a lot. So I kind of reckon she was more of a PvP hero. Didn't really see her in Dream Realm, and to be fair, she hasn't made it there either. So I was kind of right thinking that, though I never really test on Pioneer for Solise, and with Solise, there we go, first copy today. Let's see the animation. Oh, looking rather nice. Oh, that's cool. I like the animation. Very cool. She hasn't really made it in the Dream Realm, and I think she would have had like a tough time even with the stronger buffs she had on like Pioneer, and now that those buffs got nerfed, I think the chances are that she's probably not going to make it there. But she has made it into AFK stages and into PvP, so we have to talk about that. But before we do that, we have a very nice pack here. Legendary Plus pack, 105 rate up tickets, can definitely use that. 2,500 dragon crystals, easy, let's go. Very cheap, by the way, and if you want to support my channel, there is an option to get it even cheaper. And that is, of course, LD Shop. If you buy through LD Shop, you support my channel and you save a ton of money. Even more so if we click the link down in the description and register an account through that, then you will get a 15% and a 5% discount coupon, and that will make your purchases for especially the 3000 Dragon Crystal pack, that one, that is my personal favorite, that will make that even cheaper. You can already see a 75 USD, that's saving you a ton of money compared to the in-game prices, which are at least 100 USD. So, and you can still use the coupon, which will make it even cheaper, so that's absolutely great. And supporting me at the same time, so thank you for that. But yeah, she has made it into AFK stages. I was very surprised by that. I saw a ton of clears already at the start using Solise for it. And it's not really a big wonder. We're going to check it out in a second. She has very good synergy with the Fentimal for Wilder of this season, so that is pretty great. She has pretty much the best AoE shields and heal that you can get at this point in the game, so that is also pretty good. And I don't know about you guys, but I always like a healer in my team. Most of the time it is the problem though that they just aren't too good. Smokey instantly gets stunned as soon, we don't want to skip them entirely. Smokey instantly gets stunned and stops healing as soon as something remotely hits him. I mean like some form of stun, some form of movement. Too many heroes just have that and completely cancel him out, which makes him not really a great choice. Then we have like other stuff. We have Gerda, which is pretty good, but not many people own her. And she's really like only for the Mauler teams, which struggled a little bit with heroes. So I think like a healer alone in the faction is also not good enough. There needs to be like heroes around that you really want to heal, which kind of makes sense. But if you want to use a healer that is from another faction into the team, the healer has to be so much better. And to that point, I think barely any healer gets to the power that we have. We have also not really seen a Celestial Hypergene healer. Twins aren't exactly that. We kind of have to wait and see for that still. I wonder when they are going to go for a support unit again. Like a real support unit, a clear support unit. I guess Aurora to an extent is that, but most something like akin to the Twins. Haven't really seen that yet. Ooh, let's go, next one. But for now, like the healer power has been kind of underwhelming. The best one probably being Ludovic. Something like Hewen is just too slow. And yeah, there really haven't been too many options. So having Solise as a healer with strong shields, strong heals, strong damage as well, has been kind of refreshing. And in the stages and everything, also very nice use. I mean, obvious synergy if you can grant shields to something like an Iron. Iron can dodge as long as he has a shield. Granting him shields has always been strong, so that already is a synergy. Then we have the Fentanyl of the season. Fentanyl has a mechanic that grants them a buff, a flower, whenever they are healed to a certain extent. And that, of course, also something that Solise can do, and that works out very well. You can even combine with something like Florbal. Just because we have this AoE heal, which is just very, very strong. So she just generally plays nice into a lot of abilities from other heroes. And I think that really is what makes her great. And I have seen so many replays with her, not only in the tower where you just have the wilder heroes, but also really into the FK stages, that I just feel like I need to have her at least at Supreme Plus. I don't know about the PvP. Like, the problem with all those nerfs is always when you are on Pioneer, which is the testing server if you don't know about it. Like the initial video that I made about her was on the Pioneer server, which is testing server. You get an initial version. And maybe this version gets changed, then they might present you with a second version of the hero. Just to assess whether or not this is a good hero, to get some feedback as well. But the problem is, they always never give you the final version. They almost always say, okay, here was that version, we want to have it slightly stronger, we want to have it slightly weaker, and then they make it slightly stronger or slightly weaker and release it to the Vietnamese servers, which are like 1 week ahead of the global servers. And then it releases on global, but they never change the version on Pioneer to this final version, which makes testing a little bit annoying. So while on Pioneer there was like very, very heavy PvP use there, I haven't really seen her here too much, not really in a lot of teams, which doesn't necessarily mean she's bad. I think it's just that she's not very available. She's just a very, very new hero in that sense. So I guess that's why partly why people haven't really used her yet. It's also rather expensive. We have a season where many good units are on the horizon, and just going for Solise and investing into her into P4 is really whale material, I would say. I think if you can, it's pretty good. If you can, it's pretty good. If you can go for like P4 or something, that would be kind of insane. I think I could see myself doing that if I wasn't like spending a little bit less. Try to spend a little bit less this season. I don't really see myself like overspending a lot. I just want to get myself the heroes at Supreme Plus, and I'm mostly fine with it. But it makes PvP testing all the more difficult, I guess. She's still strong. She still is strong. She still is a great healer, but she wouldn't work in like a lot of teams where you kind of would have to take a ton of damage. So you would have to place her on a team where you can keep the damage away from her, which is a bit tough to do. Let's get the +10 here, and yeah, let's try her out. I really want to show you guys like a few scenarios where she's pretty good. The thing is, we have like the buffs, so this is already pretty great, and what we have is like the synergy with the Bloom Mother. And Bloom Mother was the first Fentanyl that I really went for this season. I just feel like Wilder in general is the most used in probably all of the AFK stages. It's either you have like the Wilder one or you have the Hypergene one. I kind of prefer the Wilder one. I think they made like a pretty great choice here. Very well playing into the CC one, because what it does, if you haven't played it already, is it has the active skill of just knocking all enemies back 3 tiles, dealing damage to them and immobilizing them. So it's like essentially not really an Iron, it's more of a Cassidy wave that you get. It also deals damage, has like a ton of that, and then we have this buff which synergizes well with like Solise. So we have like gains 50 burdens per second, and every time she receives a shield or healing equal to 100% of her attack, gains another burden. So she profits from getting shields and healing is essentially the point. And then activates a flower, and after 3 flowers are activated, she changes form, gains a ton of attack, gains a ton of max HP, and can fire a ton of magic projectiles, which also stun enemies. So we have that at the start. As always, we don't really get into the top skills right now, which is a little bit sad. But for the start, it is just like a very, very solid choice, I think, to just go with the Wilder one and combine with Solise at that. I already pushed Tower a little bit, so I'm not too sure if we can if we can progress there, we should be able to. 27 I am right now. This is not too low, actually. So, I'm not even too sure, actually. Let's try it out, though. Let's try it out. Where's my Solise? I didn't really go. I should probably still... Can I still get Tilaya? I wanted to slow summon some heroes, so I'm not too sure. Let's see. So we have Solise in the back. We have, like, the Iron at the front. It's the question if we get one shot. Probably the Igor is going to be the problem here. With some execute mechanic, that would be a whole lot easier. Well, let's see. So we have like the initial, here we have like the initial heals already coming in at the start, and you can already see, yeah, there is heal coming in, there is shields coming in. We have the active skills starting off, we have a ton of immobilize, artifact triggering, talked about the artifact in the last video if you're wondering about that. And that's like a stage where I failed at least one time, so already like pretty strong. The melt here. The melt from this artifact, from the Blazeburn spell. Absolutely insane. You can always see like where the true damage numbers pop up. Should come right now. There. It's just insane. This was just the artifact. So absolutely melting now through the almost there. I wonder how much heal and how much damage we got from Solise. I just wonder how much heal and how much damage we just got from Solise. Just overall. Just Supreme Plus, plus 10, nothing fancy. So what do we get there? That's like really, really solid. Vader is a strong damage dealer. Undervalued to that in some extent. But Solise damage kind of great here. And we have to keep in mind, I mean, we do get the ult. Ult in general performs a little bit better when there are more enemies on, when there are more allies on the board, through summons mostly. So that is kind of like a thing that we didn't really go for here. We have the HP, we have the heal. It's kind of interesting that her heal overall was less than Belara, was less actually than Thader as well, which is kind of fancy. But still, we get the AoE heal. I reckon there wasn't too much to heal anyway. We just did too well in that regard. So with the double speed now, we can check it again. Get the ult. You can see hitting the enemy over there. Starting to heal again. We have already bulb sprites on like all of our allies here, so this is already like this is basically her mechanic. I talked about it in my first review. You start off with like a seed and it sprouts into a bulb sprite once the ally receives enough heal, and we already had that there on all of our heroes, so that is very, very good. Getting all these stunning projectiles out there. We have a ton of flowers already on our Blue Mother. So we can see when you see like all of the projectiles hitting enemies, so like the ult comes, and then the projectiles, when you see a lot of projectiles, that is in general a very, very good sign, because those projectiles, they also stun, so that essentially allows you to have very much so more consistent CC, and is actually very nice. There we go. Yeah, very, very good, and you can see how easily we are progressing at a stage where I was pretty much stuck, still very solid damage, and the heal was a lot better on this one. We're just in a very, very solid position with that. I think if I auto clear, I would just auto clear and do a little cut, and we'll see how far we get. Okay, I don't think we will get too far anymore, because these enemies are already like seriously tanky. But the thing is, our sustain is so great, we don't even lose to like really the enemies killing us here at the moment. We're just getting very close to the point where the timer will run out. Can we do it? Oh, look at that. Okay. Okay. That's insane. Like, that was a full-on fight. We only lost, not because we were, like, really defeated. I wanted to see the numbers. That is so mean! That is so mean. I think we can still get a little bit further, but I wanted to bring across the point that she really makes your team super tanky. And that also translates into PvP, by the way. Okay, I tried to get a good replay for you guys. Team we're using here is one of the popular toxic teams we had on Pioneer. Alna, Dunlinger, Cider, Athalia, and Solise. I found the interesting thing was really, we're fighting Traxi here. By the way, check out Traxi on Twitch. Great streams. Currently streaming Arknight's Enfield. I saw a game I was particularly interested as well. Sadly, didn't find the time. But what we can see right here is she is in our team, and you get those little bulb sprites, and you can see on our Cider actually there is one of those little bulb sprites, and it's continuously healing us, and you can see how many buffs our Cider really has there. So that on top of like the Alna buffs, on top of like constant healing, we're getting healed throughout the entire fight all the time, and that really, I think, is the best synergy here with the Cider team, because you don't really have to have a Solise that is alive to profit from the bulb sprite buffs, because that will actually they will actually still be with them after Solise is gone. I just have to find the ability pretty quickly. There we have it. Sends a bolt to all of the non-summoned allies. That is at the beginning of the fight. We talked about it. And then we have the healing that is provided there. And that doesn't end. It just doesn't end. And once those bulb sprites are increased, we get the attack increase and everything. And that is also in there. The only thing that happens when she dies is those bulb sprites can't grow anymore. So that is not too important when they are already done, so you just basically need to put them on the Cider, and then you're good to go. Alna will profit from it as well, and you get like the massive attack buff there, which is pretty much insane. So that is a very nice synergy for the longer fights as well. And I think if you want to do that, that is an option. The other option that you can go for is kind of combining with Belrun. Very, very valid. She's the strongest healer, so combining with Belrun, who just needs a strong healer at his side, is an absolutely valid choice. And the other one is to just go for kind of a stall team and maybe go into the Lightbearer area again and combine with a Rowan in there. Could also be an option, and maybe even go in, with her as like an off-faction choice. I kind of was like visualizing a team, a little bit of an area control team there, but I guess we have another Phantomal now. So don't know. It's more of an offensive Phantom. In the last season, that would have been a nice choice. In the last season, that would have been a nice choice. Maybe don't do it this season. The last season we had like these team side buffs from the Lightbearer faction. I think she would have played great into this team as well. But I guess you could heal Sigmund. It's not bad. Receives 50% damage reduction whenever he receives a temporary stat buff from a different ally during battle. He gains 5% damage reduction. That's not bad. Could I seriously combine that, actually? Maybe we have to make that team. But it's not something for the start, I reckon. It's not something for the start. But very, very good hero nonetheless. Is absolutely available in AFK stages. A great choice for the start. An S-tier hero. I think if you just now have the tickets, there's nothing wrong with going for her. There's nothing wrong with going for her. Even if there was like a better hero later on, it's probably going to be an S-tier. You can swap her for it. So yeah, I would give summoning recommendation for Solise right here. We usually do the ranking, so where I would rank her in the end. I haven't really thought about that. I mean, you obviously want to have yourself an Iron. You probably don't want to have yourself a Human anymore. You definitely want Villara. And then you have mostly PvP. You have a lot of heroes that you just don't need in here. Bottom 6 right there. Don't really need them. Bottom 7. Tazi is kind of optional now. Still a good hero though. I don't know about Lily May. I like Lily May. Lily May is great for PvP, but sees no DR use anymore. For PvP, nice. I think we would start off with probably like Villara and Iron in there. And then probably Ravion. And then you can go either Tazi or Solise, I would reckon. I would reckon both is fine. Either one. So 4th or 5th in the S tier ranking, I would say. And that is behind absolute god tier meta heroes that you 100% need, like Iron and Villara. So I think that's a very insane place. A very insane position. Yeah. Very insane priority already. Very, very strong hero. Definitely would recommend her. If you haven't already, hit the link down in the description. Check out LD Shop. And also on the way to there, of course, hit that subscribe button. That always helps me. A lot of people subscribed after a recent video. Definitely appreciate that. Thanks for the support. Definitely keeps me going. Other than that, I just wish you guys a great day. We'll see us in the next one.